Hello everyone and welcome back to English Flow. I'm Tom, and as always, I'm here with my amazing co-host Sarah. How are you doing today, Sarah?
Hey Tom, I'm doing great, thanks for asking. Hello to all our wonderful listeners out there. We're so excited to have you with us for another episode of English Flow.
Today we have a really important and relevant phrasal verb to discuss. We're going to be talking about the phrasal verb burnout. This is something that affects millions of people around the world, especially in our fast-paced modern society.
Absolutely, Tom. Burnout is not just a phrasal verb. It's a real condition that many people experience in their work and personal lives. Understanding how to use this expression correctly will definitely help you communicate better in English.
That's right, so before we dive deep into the grammar and usage, we're going to show you some short video examples. These videos will give you real context for how burnout is used in everyday English. Let's watch the first video example.
I've been working 12-hour days for 6 months straight. I think I'm burning out. I can barely get out of bed anymore.
Wow, that's a perfect example of burnout in action. Did you catch how she used it, everyone? She said I'm burning out, using the continuous form.
Exactly. In this case, the person is describing an ongoing process. She's in the middle of experiencing burnout. The continuous tense I'm burning out shows that it's happening right now and it's a gradual process, not something that happens instantly.
And notice the context too. She mentioned working 12-hour days for 6 months. That's the kind of overwork and stress that leads to burning out. The physical symptom she mentioned, barely being able to get out of bed, is very characteristic of burnout.
Great observation, Sarah. Burnout typically includes physical exhaustion, mental fatigue, and a lack of motivation. It's more than just being tired after a long day. It's a state of chronic exhaustion. Now let's take a look at our second video example.
My brother completely burned out last year. He had to take 3 months off work to recover. Now he's doing much better.
Excellent. This example shows us a different tense. Here we have burned out in the past simple. He completely burned out last year. This tells us that the burnout happened and was completed in the past.
That's right, Tom, and there's something really important here. Notice he used the adverb completely before burned out. This emphasizes the severity of the burnout. It wasn't just mild stress, he completely burned out, meaning he reached a critical point of exhaustion.
And the fact that he had to take 3 months off work shows just how serious burnout can be. It's not something you can fix with a weekend of rest. Recovery from burnout often requires significant time away from the stressful situation.
Absolutely, and I love that the speaker mentioned he's doing much better now. This gives us hope and shows that burnout is recoverable. You can come back from it with proper rest and changes to your lifestyle or work situation.
Very true. Now let's watch our third and final video example before we continue our discussion.
You need to slow down or you'll burn yourself out. Take some vacation days and rest. Your health is more important than any project.
Oh, this is such an important example. Here we see burnout used as a warning or advice. The speaker says you'll burn yourself out, which is using the reflexive form with yourself.
Great point, Sarah. When we say burn yourself out, we're emphasizing that the person is doing this to themselves through their own actions or choices. It's a bit different from just saying you'll burn out, though both are correct and commonly used.
And notice this is in the future tense. You'll burn yourself out means if you continue this way, this will happen in the future. It's preventative advice. The speaker is trying to help someone avoid burnout before it happens.
Exactly, and the advice given is really practical. Take vacation days and rest. The speaker also makes a really wise point. Your health is more important than any project. This is something we should all remember in our work lives.
Absolutely, Tom. So now that we've seen these 3 examples, let's break down the phrasal verb burnout in more detail. First, let's talk about the basic meaning. Tom, would you like to explain?
Sure, the phrasal verb burnout literally comes from the idea of a fire burning until there's nothing left to burn. Think of a candle that burns out, it runs out of fuel and the flame dies. When we apply this to people, it means to become exhausted or lose motivation due to overwork or stress.
That's a beautiful explanation of the metaphor, Tom. And just like a candle needs wax to keep burning, people need energy, rest, and motivation to keep working. When these run out, we burn out.
Perfect analogy. Now, burnout can be used in different ways grammatically. It can be intransitive, meaning it doesn't need an object. For example, she burned out or I'm burning out. In these cases, we're just describing the state of the person.
Right, And it can also be reflexive, as we saw in the third video. Burn yourself out, burn myself out, burn themselves out. This form emphasizes personal responsibility or the self-inflicted nature of the burnout.
We should also mention that burnout, spelled as one word or two words burnout, can be used as a noun. For example, she's suffering from burnout, or employee burnout is a serious problem in many companies.
That's an important distinction for our listeners. When it's a noun, it's typically written as one word, burnout. When it's a phrasal verb, it's two words, burnout. Though honestly, you'll sometimes see variations in different publications.
Good point, Sarah. Now let's talk about some common collocations and expressions that go with burnout. We often hear things like completely burnout, totally burnout, or quickly burnout. These adverbs help us understand the extent or speed of the burnout.
Yes, and we also commonly use phrases like at risk of burning out, on the verge of burning out, or showing signs of burnout. These expressions help us talk about the process before someone fully burns out.
Great examples. It's also worth noting what kinds of people or professions we commonly associate with burnout. Healthcare workers, teachers, social workers, and people in high-stress corporate jobs are particularly vulnerable to burning out.
Unfortunately, that's very true. But really, anyone can burn out if they're overworked, stressed, or not taking care of themselves. Students can burn out from too much studying, athletes can burn out from overtraining, even parents can burn out from the demands of childcare.
Absolutely. Now let's discuss some signs and symptoms that someone might be burning out. Sarah, what are some common indicators?
Well, chronic fatigue is a big one. If you're constantly tired no matter how much you sleep, that could be a sign. Other symptoms include lack of motivation, difficulty concentrating, increased cynicism or negativity, and physical symptoms like headaches or stomach problems.
Those are all important warning signs. People who are burning out often also feel a sense of detachment from their work, reduced performance, and sometimes even depression or anxiety. It affects both mental and physical health.
So what can people do to prevent burning out or to recover if they're already experiencing it? This is such practical information for our listeners.
Great question. Prevention is key. Setting boundaries between work and personal life is crucial. Learn to say no to extra commitments when you're already overwhelmed. Take regular breaks during work, use your vacation days, and make time for activities you enjoy outside of work.
Self-care is also essential. That means getting enough sleep, eating well, exercising regularly, and maintaining social connections. Sometimes we sacrifice these things when we're busy, but they're actually what keep us from burning out.
If you're already experiencing burnout, it's important to seek help. Talk to your supervisor about reducing your workload, consider talking to a therapist or counselor, and give yourself permission to rest. Recovery takes time.
Such important advice, Tom. Now, let's give our listeners some practice sentences using burnout so they can really internalize this phrasal verb. I'll start. Many nurses burned out during the pandemic due to overwhelming workloads and emotional stress.
Good one. Here's another. If you keep working weekends without any time off, you're going to burn yourself out before the project is even finished.
Nice. How about this one? She realized she was burning out when she started dreading going to work every morning, something she used to love.
Perfect example showing the emotional aspect of burnout. Here's one more. The company implemented new wellness programs to prevent employees from burning out.
Excellent. I hope our listeners are getting a really good sense of how versatile this phrasal verb is and how commonly it's used in English, especially in workplace contexts.
Me too. Before we wrap up, let's quickly mention some related expressions. We have burned the candle at both ends, which means to exhaust yourself by working too hard or staying up too late. This often leads to burning out.
Right, and we might also say someone is running on empty, which means they have no energy left. Or spread yourself too thin, which means taking on too many responsibilities.
All of these expressions are related to the concept of burnout. They all describe situations where someone is overextending themselves and risking exhaustion.
So to summarize for our listeners, burnout is a phrasal verb that means to become completely exhausted or lose motivation due to chronic stress or overwork. It can be used in various tenses and forms, and it's a very relevant expression in today's busy world.
Well said, Sarah. We hope this episode has helped you understand not just the language, but also the importance of recognizing and preventing burnout in your own life. Remember, taking care of yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us today on English Flow. We love having you as part of our learning community. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and share it with your friends who are learning English.
And remember to practice using burnout in your own conversations. The more you use it, the more natural it will become. Until next time, keep learning, keep practicing, and most importantly, don't burn yourself out.
Perfect way to end the episode, Tom. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you next time on English Flow. Bye.
Goodbye, everyone. Stay healthy and keep flowing with English.